Okay, it's me again, and I have put together a timeline of events because it was just too much for me to try to ad-lib it off the top of my head. So I typed up everything into a timeline. It's right here. And so I'm just going to basically read to you some of the things that have happened since prior to my daughter's death. My daughter's name was Shanda, not Shonda or Chandra or Chandra or Shauna. It was Shanda. So when I say the term or word Shanda, that is my daughter, who is now deceased. Okay, on May 21st, Shanda admitted herself through an emergency room through a local hospital into a drug rehab program. She was later transferred that night by ambulance to another facility, which was their inpatient treatment program. So on May 22nd, very next day, she was an established patient in the inpatient drug rehab program. Also on May 22nd, her current probation officer issued a warrant for her arrest. So enter policemen took her from inpatient drug rehab treatment and took her to another county, approximately 50 miles from here, and incarcerated her in a local county jail. The entire time she was incarcerated, from May 22nd until June 17th, her defense attorney was unavailable because he was ill. So she had no counsel, no direction as to what she should be doing. She just basically sat. And I supported her through buying her, personal items that were allowed at the jail, putting commissary money on her books so she could get snacks and whatnot. Visited her on the allocated days where I could go and visit her. On June 4th, she had filed a motion to the courthouse herself because her attorney was absent, asking and begging for her release back to the inpatient treatment that she had already been admitted to. And I called the director of the program and asked them if they would take her back. I was told by him that they would only take her back once her legal issues were cleared up and if she had a court order. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she's still incarcerated at this time. On June 17th, she had her probation revocation hearing, and then lo and behold, her defense attorney shows up after being absent from May 22nd through June 17th. He shows up, goes into the judge's chambers, and negotiates her release with credit for time served, but the court order dictated that she return to the inpatient drug rehab program that she had already entered on May 21st. We drive back to our home. She makes a telephone call to the treatment facility and asked if she could come back. They said, no, you need to have a brand new drug rehabilitation program or a drug evaluation or assessment, and we will schedule that for you, and it will be June 24th. So she had an entire week where she had absolutely no help at all. On either June 19th or 20th, because it's unknown to me which of the 2 days, she was contacted by our local police department to perform an undercover controlled buy of bath salts at a local convenience store and a few other individuals. So she went by their direction or mandate and wore a wire and did undercover work for the police department. By her own admission, on June 21st, she had skimmed some drugs off the top and used on Friday, June 21st, which was only 4 days after she had been discharged from the jail. So she was 29 days clean, and then 4 days later she was exposed, 3 to 4 days later she was exposed to the drugs that she was addicted to. So yes, she did use on June 21st. On June 24th, she had her drug evaluation, her second drug evaluation, and they determined that intensive outpatient treatment would be adequate. So on June 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, she attended intensive outpatient meetings at the facility from 4:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. On July 1st, a person that was hanging around with her, that she was trying to get rid of, kind of a stalker guy, assaulted her in the upstairs of my home, and she threw him out of the house. It was a huge fight, argument, nasty. Her face was all beaten up. She was bruised, swollen, black eyes. Threw this guy out of the house on July 1st. From the 1st until the 6th, she was having her menses, her period, and she was very sick due to heavy menstrual flow and really didn't want to do anything. She had bad cramps. On July 6th, she decided that she wanted to leave the house at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She was very sad, lonely, and depressed, just unconsolable. Had looked through my cupboards for any kind of liquor or alcohol, couldn't find anything, and just proceeded to leave. On July 8th, which would have been Monday, she left on a Saturday, following Monday, I met with her probation officer because I was concerned about what she was going to do about my daughter and where she was going to go, or what was she going to do, how was she going to exercise her legal rights in either getting her back into inpatient treatment or incarcerating her again or something, because I knew that she had already used after she had been incarcerated for 29 days. Please bear in mind that when you are a drug addict, you are an addict, and it's very hard to quit. On July 16th, after being told on July 9th, her body was found with her cellular phone, sunglasses, cigarettes, lighter, flip-flop shoes, and a can of industrial strength duster or keyboard cleaner. Those things were all found on a footbridge, and then her body was in a river, which was a considerable distance from where her personal belongings were found, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If she had the duster with her by the river and breathed some of the duster and then fell in, I can understand that, but the duster was back with her personal belongings. So by the time she walked from the footbridge where she had been seated and left all of her personal things, walked barefooted up and down rugged paths and stepped over fallen trees and rocks and everything else to get to the river for some unknown reason, and then by then she would have been somewhat sober and not have just basically fallen in the river. None of that makes any sense. Excuse me. So on July 16th, we had her services. On July 18th, I called a detective and I requested the photographs from the scene. I wanted to see where her things were and how they were laid out on the footbridge, and I was denied that request. Said that I had to have a court order to get that information. July 22nd through the 26th, the lead investigator and his supervisor both were out on training that whole entire week. So July 22nd through the 26th, I had to wait and couldn't get a thing done. That same week, I spoke to an officer within the police department that was in evidence. He was in the evidence department and assured me that he would get this video surveillance from our local Walmart store to timestamp when she was in there, if it was between, she left my home at 3, and was she in there at 3:15, 3:30, or was it at 5 or 6? There was no way of knowing, and he assured me that they would get the video for a significant block of time, get both entrances and exits, and also the parking lot to make sure that she was alone. There was no other heads, in her car when she was in there. Okay, on July 22nd, I attended something called an order hour, and I requested the court to give me a court order to obtain the photographs from the scene. I was denied that order. On July 25th, I met with the chief of police about her undercover work and wanted to know if the fact that she was on probation with a county law enforcement agency, and then the local police department used her. I wanted to know, don't you guys communicate? I mean, why would you be using her if she was on probation? He said he would check into it, took a couple notes, and then never called me back. So, end of that story. On August 1st, I called and left a message with our local county attorney, and he called me back to discuss, but nothing was accomplished. On August 5th, I dropped a typed request off to the police department asking them to watch the Walmart video and also to interrogate the person that had abused her in my home on July 1st. I was told by an attorney that I should put everything in writing, so I put it all in writing and dropped it off with the investigator, who now was back. On August 6th, I called the same investigator and argued about when he was going to watch the video. He basically told me that he couldn't watch the video if he didn't have the video, and he didn't know where it was. It could be in the local store, it could be at the corporate headquarters. Don't you understand? I can't watch the video if I don't have the video. I can't listen to a CD if I don't have the CD. And I'm like thinking, are you kidding me? Get the video. That was on August 6th. On August 7th, the very next day, I called our local Walmart store and I talked to the manager and I asked them where the video would be located. I was told by her that it was at the store. It wasn't at the corporate headquarters. It was sitting right at the store, and that the PD were the only people that could get it. On August 8th, the next day, I called the county attorney back again, and he said that he had spoke to the PD on August 6th about watching the video, and they said there wasn't enough proof to make sure that she had actually gone to a Walmart to steal the can of Duster, that she could have went to a CVS pharmacy or a Target or any other place, and that they weren't going to get all the other videos and watch all of them. And I said, you don't have to, because I know she went to Walmart. She had already told me she had stolen from Walmart in the past. Why would she risk going to another brand new place to steal something when she had already proven that she could steal from Walmart and get away with it? So that was ridiculous. So I didn't get anywhere with the county attorney. Then on August 9th, I called the Attorney General's office, who is a state representative, and they told me I needed to call an ombudsman, the ombudsman's office. So I called them and left a message for them to call me back. On August 9th, I talked to the coroner's office about the recent toxicology. They had the toxicology report back, and he told me that it didn't show any other drugs in her system other than the chemicals that was in the can of Duster. And he didn't tell me at what level or anything like that. As I understand it, the can was mostly full. When a person uses that type of drug, usually they just suck the complete life out of the can, and they don't just like take a little puff. They like use the whole can up. But in her case, or in this case, the can was with her belongings on the bridge and was full or nearly full. She just had a small amount in her system, or an amount in her system. It wasn't really measured by the toxicology report. On August 12th, I was called back from the coroner's office, and told that they had requested a report from the Waterloo Police Department to be due to them in 2 weeks from August 12th, or also known as August 26th. And I was relieved, thinking that finally we're going to get some action. We're going to get the Walmart video. We're going to find out what time she was in there, if she was alone, exactly what was going on. Wait. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Oh, I know. I hadn't talked to the ombudsman yet. Okay, so that happened on August 12th. Yes, that happened on August 12th. So then on the same day, I called the ombudsman's office again, left another message for them to call me. Then August 13th, they did return my call. We had a light discussion of the issues. Nothing was done, or she didn't really help me. Then August 19th through the 23rd, the lead investigator was on vacation. Then on August 19th, I talked to another official at the coroner's office, and he told me that her keys were missing and never returned by anyone, either the coroner or the PD. So the keys were an issue as to where they were. And he told me some cockamamie story about maybe she could have just thrown the keys into the woods or the water. And it's like, are you kidding me? And why would she do that? Doesn't make any sense. August 23rd, I left a message for the pathologist. August 23rd, I called the ombudsman's office, and then I talked to the person, finally. She told me that the deadline of August 26th meant absolutely nothing to the police department. As long as the evidence could be preserved, which was the video, that there was nothing that would hold them to that deadline of watching the video. She said that I could call her back if the coroner's office had not received the report when they wanted it. She was going to be going on vacation September 5th through the 18th. August 26th through the 30th, the person that I had been working with at the coroner's office was on vacation. On August 27th, the pathologist from the coroner's office returned my call. We discussed the deadline having been passed, the disappearance of her keys, whether there were any pockets in her shorts where the keys would have been placed, that the clothes had been given back to the funeral home. The next day it was determined that the funeral home threw her clothes away, so there's no way of knowing if she had pockets in her pants or not. Keys are just missing. On August 29th, I had an appointment with an attorney, and I discussed the details of her death and the fact that there was no report back on the Walmart video yet. He advises me to set up an appointment with a private investigator. So basically, that's where I'm at right now. Other than yesterday, August 30th, I did get a call back from the ombudsman's office, and she said that that she would call the coroner's office on Tuesday, September 3rd, when that individual I've been talking to, will be back from a week's vacation, and find out when they're going to get the video viewage, the report from the Waterloo Police. I'm thinking that if I don't have a good answer by the end of September 3rd on Tuesday, I'm going to take the day off on September 4th, Wednesday, and I'm going to drive to my state's capital. I have someone that lives there, and they're checking out both of the offices to see if they have a storefront and a reception area with chairs. And if they do, I'm going to drive down there, and I'm going to sit in either office or both offices, however, until I get some action by both of them. On September 7th, a week from today, we're having a benefit for my granddaughter. There's going to be a raffle, a general raffle, a 50-50 raffle, a bake sale, a meal, and trying to raise some money to pay my daughter's final expenses, which was cremation, obviously, because we couldn't have a casket or anything like that. So anyway, I know this is really long and it's really complicated, but basically, you know, counting up to her death, she was looking for help through many different avenues, and at least 3 different entities failed her. You know, the treatment facility, the court system, and then the task force, which all led up to her death. And then after her death, to get the information that I need to timestamp her death, to understand if she was or was not alone, I can't get that information. It's not forthcoming. And I'm just going to keep fighting until I get it. So, there you have it. And there's probably even more than that, but that's just my little timeline of events. And if you watched this whole thing till the end, and if you followed any of it, I can't believe it. But thanks for watching, and I'm going to play it back now and see if it's worth loading or not. I know I made a lot of mistakes and goof-ups and misspeaks and whatnot, but I hope you understand that I'm pretty upset. Really pissed. I knew it would take like 20 minutes. It's been 21 minutes and 30 seconds. Sorry for blabbing on. But thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm pissed.